Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, everyone. So I extend my warm welcome to everyone. Thank you for coming on early morning. And this is the beginning of our spiritual and peaceful journey in life. So once again, thank you everyone for coming. Let me introduce His Grace Priya Gopesh Prabhu. So Priya Gopesh Prabhu Das is a distinguished spiritual mentor and educator with an impressive academic background. He holds a BTech in Electronics and MTech in Instrumentation Engineering from renowned Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, Pune. His outstanding academic performance earned him the opportunity to serve as an assistant professor at his alma mater, a role he fulfilled with dedication for 2 years. Prabhuji's achievement extend beyond academics. As a student, he excelled in various arenas, including technical exhibitions, debates, allocutions, and the National Science Olympiad. His exceptional accomplishments were recognized with a personal appreciation letter and an invitation to meet the former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, a testament to his all-round excellence. Prabhuji's journey took a transformative turn during his first year of engineering, where when he encountered the teachings of ISKCON and the Bhagavad Gita. Profoundly moved by their wisdom, he chose to dedicate his life to sharing these teachings for the upliftment of society with a special focus on empowering the youth. Currently, Prabhuji serves as a monk at the ISKCON Abbot's Temple and leads the community center at Telapur ISKCON CDEC. He regularly conducts spiritual and motivational programs for students at IIT Bombay, IIT Hyderabad, Triple IT Hyderabad, and professionals from leading corporates like Microsoft, Apple, and JPMC. Having completed Prabhuji has completed the Bhakti Shastri and Bhakti Vaibhav certification under the ISKCON Board of Examinations. Prabhuji offers a unique blend of spiritual insights and practical guidance to help students navigate modern challenges with charity and confidence. Whether you seek academic excellence, personal growth, or a deeper sense of purpose, Prabhuji is the mentor who can inspire all of us to achieve your full potential. So please welcome Prabhuji with a great round of applause.
Hare Krishna. So actually I welcome all of you to this, and I congratulate you and thank you for taking out your time this morning to be with all of us here. As very rightly said by Shailesh Prabhuji, that this could be a very nice, wonderful beginning. Many of you have this desire to learn from Bhagavad Gita, and this course which we are going to have for a few weekends will be discussing the basics of Bhagavad Gita. And obviously this is not in-depth study. This is only, we're going to see basics, and then eventually we can also see Bhagavad Gita verse by verse later. So I thank you very much for coming here and being with us. So we will begin our discussion with short prayers. So that's how we start any spiritual talk. So you all can try to repeat after me, and then we will discuss. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Thank you so much. Am I audible there behind? Not audible? Yes. I think some of you can please move ahead. I request the volunteers to make space for them. Yes.
So, humble request to all the kids and their parents to please send the kids just below this floor. There is a special program and event organized for all the kids. They will learn a lot of great things. So please take them if possible. That will be helpful.
Hare Krishna. Now is it audible behind? No, still there. Okay. So this special course on Bhagavad Gita, we call it Discover Yourself. And some of you might be wondering, discover ourselves. I mean, I am not lost. I know where I am, right? So what are we going to discover? So the sessions, as we progress, we will understand why we call it as Discover Yourself. This, as I said, this is going to be a basic introduction to Bhagavad Gita, which is a um, very important, famous scripture of Sanatan Dharma. And definitely you all are here taking out your valuable time. That means you definitely value it, this knowledge, and you definitely have heard something about it, and you have a desire to learn more. So here what we are going to do in next few sessions, which we will meet, and I really request all of you to make it a priority in life to keep this time on Sunday for this discussion, because after going through these sessions, I'm very sure it's going to be the other way around. You are going to tell me how this was so important and how this was so valuable and beneficial for you. I'm very sure about it, because for last 15 years I have been sharing this with so many people I came across, and this has been my experience. When people go through this, they really feel so blessed and so benefited. But in the beginning, it is me who has to say this so that you take it seriously and give your time. So just like you all are educated, probably you have spent several years to get your degrees, right? Whatever education. So with spiritual knowledge also, we can be little patient. We spend so many years to become engineers and doctors and lawyers and whatnot, right? What you all are. Similarly, to get this spiritual knowledge also, some time we have to invest. Not that much, not like several years, but even if you can give a few weeks, then you will realize how this is important and this knowledge will be clear. So this is an introduction, and also one more thing, just as a service to everyone who is present in this room, everyone can please keep their mobiles on silent or vibration. See this, because we have the weapons. This is a weapon. Which is this weapon? Distraction. This is weapon of mass distraction. The big nations have weapons of mass destruction, and we have weapons of mass distraction. We can distract ourselves and everyone else around us with these weapons. So my request is, you can please keep them on silent mode for this next 1 hour. And also, as Shailesh sir mentioned, there is a program for kids also downstairs. You would like to take benefit of that, the kids can also go there. So today we are going to discuss on this, discover inner self, this discussion. In this world, whatever we are doing it for one purpose. What is that everyone is searching for? I would like all of you to be interactive and share your thoughts. You raise your hand and let us keep this interactive. If you also have any questions, just to maintain the flow of discussion, you can mark them. We will have sufficient time at the end. Also, when you have your food, that time you can also interact. So please make sure that you get all your questions answered, because that is very, very important. Yet during the session, we may just go through the flow first, and then towards the end, we'll take questions. So please be interactive and also share your thoughts. So what is that which everyone is looking for? Whatever one is doing, they are doing for this one thing. Wonderful. Who answered? Achha, yours. Very nice. You got the peace. Okay, fine. Any other thoughts? Internal happiness. That means happiness, what the first thing was. Correct. Even peace is one sense why peace people are searching for, is one wants to be happy. Why are you doing engineering? You ask a student. I get a job. Why job? I get money. Why money? Become happy. Why marry? Happiness. Why are you, whatever for that matter we are doing for this one thing called happiness. Do you agree? We all want to be happy, right? So in this world, we see that everyone is trying to find this happiness by various means. Small children, they want to play with toys. We ourselves remember you were playing with toys, but no more now. Now the balloons and the toys are not so attractive, right? But children, in the childhood, they were very attractive. Then in the youth, there are other ways we get happiness, connecting with the opposite sex, to have relationships, to have emotional exchanges become more important. Then the social prestige, money, the bank balance, and in the fag end of life, um, relationships. And so there are different things in different phases of life, they give happiness. But what everyone is actually searching for is happiness. Everyone tries to find happiness by various means. Sometimes people have very weird ways of dressing or making hairstyles, or sometimes daredevil acts. Why do you think people do all that? Like here we sometimes see, when we are in this center, somebody drives the bike so fast. I don't know if you have experienced, almost daredevil. Why that person is doing that? Happiness. Just impressing somebody or whatever, but ultimately the core of that is what? He feels happy about it. It may not be good for us, or we may not be happy about it, but somebody feels. Sports, even intoxication and parties and whatnot, all that are basically, for the sake of happiness. So why am I saying this? Because we are going to look at this concept of happiness from scriptural point of view, from the Bhagavad Gita point of view. According to our scriptures, we find happiness into 4 activities: eating, sleeping, enjoyment, and defending. So these are the 4 activities are common between humans and animals. What are they? Eating, sleeping, enjoyment, and the greatest form of enjoyment is mating, sex life. So that is, and defending. That means to defend ourselves. So these 4 activities are said to be common. Animals also do these activities. They also get enjoyment. They also get happiness. And human beings also get happiness through these 4 activities, right? I will talk about each one of them as we go ahead. See, animals also have friends. They have fun. They also have family, right? Animals also have. So animals also find happiness in eating. They also find happiness in sleeping, mating, and defending, as we just discussed. Defending means protecting from danger, defend oneself. So animals protect with their jaws and claws, and they have their, and human beings have missiles and guns and rockets and whatnot. But the essential purpose of that is what? Defending, either individually or collectively, right? So we see that these things are common between humans and animals. The first one is sleeping. So you may say, no, we have a different kind of sleeping, right? The dog is sleeping on the road, but we have very sophisticated arrangement. Nowadays I heard that there is a sleeping company also. I heard a very famous company, the sleeping company, that's the name of a company. And they have varieties of mattresses, varieties of arrangements just to sleep. I mean, so much of arrangement just for sleeping. There are these very amazing alarm clocks I had heard about. I just put this in PPT here. People find it difficult to sleep, and when they sleep, they find difficult to wake up. Then, right? So somebody has problem, neend nahi aa raha hai, somebody has problem, can't get up early in the morning. So very difficult, especially students. I remember there was one student in IIT Kharagpur. I used to give a session and I heard about him. I didn't meet him, but I heard. So he was studying and there was exam. So for a long time he was working hard and studying. After the exam, this person slept on Friday night and got up on Monday morning. So everyone was so much worried what has happened, whether he's alive or he would get up and he said, just don't disturb me, I'm so tired. And he slept for so long and it became a talk of the whole college. So anyways, that's lighter thing. But yeah, sleeping, right? We all find happiness in this. Everyone wants to take rest and sleep. There are these amazing alarm clocks I was talking about. There's one alarm clock which, it's hanging here. You can see the photo. It's hanging from the ceiling. This is for those who can't get up once they sleep. So the alarm clock actually keeps on going up. As soon as you snooze, the next time it goes a little up, little height above. And you have to take more effort to snooze it. And it keeps on going on this, practically till ceiling. Then you have to get up to actually close it. There is no other, you can't keep on snoozing it. There are a few more like this. There is one alarm clock which actually there are some balls in it. When it goes off, the balls actually scattered all over the room. And you can't snooze it unless all the balls are put back. So you get up and then put all the balls together to snooze it, right? There is one more alarm clock they have designed, where is a jigsaw puzzle. It throws a puzzle, unless you put that puzzle together and close it, it will keep on sounding. There is one more robot alarm clock, this one. It runs in some direction in the room, and to snooze it, one has to get up, run behind and snooze it. All this is to wake up a person, right? So sleeping, that gives happiness to people. Then there is eating. The animals are eating on the road, right? The dog is eating on the road, or animal has their own eating. And we have a sophisticated ways of eating. We have 5-star hotels. I heard there is I think it was Germany, in some foreign country, they have a revolving hotel in the sky, different kinds. But if you see, the essential activity of eating is the same. What is that which is giving pleasure? We may go in a very big, nice restaurant, which is wonderful. But there also, it's the activity of eating which is giving pleasure, right? So happiness is there in eating. You like nice eating. We also have a nice prasad for you after the session. So that's activity of eating. Then enjoyment. Doing various activities which gives pleasure. As I said, the highest of that is relationship between man and woman. That gives enjoyment, which is also there in animals. They also have that kind of relationship. They also have family life. That also gives happiness. And finally, defending, that means to protect oneself. As I said, by jaws and claws, now we have missiles and rockets. There's one philosopher who said, the modern man has guided missiles but misguided minds. Right? Our missiles are guided. We know if you press button, exactly we can hit the target. It's guided missile. But the person who is pressing the switch, his mind is not guided. That is the current situation, right? So we have this defending mechanisms. So the point, what I'm trying to say is, these 4 activities, sleeping, eating, enjoyment or mating, and defending, they are common between animals and humans. Do you agree? Yes. Now, what is the speciality of humans? Okay, let me first ask, are humans special or not? We are, definitely. You all are special, we all are special. How? We are doing the same activity as animals. So are we just 2-legged, sophisticated version of animals? Or are we something special? What is the speciality of humans? What is difference between animals and humans? Please raise your hand so I can know who is speaking. Humans have mind. Even animals have mind. How do you say, what is the symptom of mind? Okay, one. Let's take one at a time. I know you are very enthusiastic. Just one at a time. Yes?
Thinking ability.
Thinking ability. A cat enters your home in kitchen, if you have observed, and she knows exactly what time to enter, when the lady is not there, when nobody is around, and go and drink the milk. she is thinking or not?
Probably the intensity of thinking may be different. I don't know how to
Okay.
identify that.
Okay. Yeah. See, animals also have thinking. Someone says intelligence, I heard. See, even animals have intelligence. Have you seen the birds making nest? What an intelligence it is. You know that nest, if you have seen those videos on National Geographic, inside the nest, it's what you call it, temperature resistant. If it is hot outside summertime, it is inside cool. Same nest when it is cold and in the winter season, it is warm inside. What kind of technology also? Does it need intelligence or not? They have intelligence. Then we just saw they also have emotions. I showed you a picture also. What do you think about these guys? Have they have emotions or not? There are many stories. These cows together, they have a lot of emotions. They cry if their calf is killed and they cry tears. Emotions are there. Yes.
Judgment, which is right or wrong,
Judgment.
which is right or which is wrong.
Okay, this is something interesting. I'll come back to this. This is wonderful. Yes, last two. Last two I will take, then I'll go ahead. Yes, last go.
Humans can worship God, but not animals.
Okay, this is nice. Um, Fine, I will come back to this also. Is nice. Okay, we'll one last and maybe one more.
This may be
ladies.
something different.
Hmm.
What observation I make is the spine of animals is horizontal to the earth, but the spine of human is vertical to the earth.
Oh, okay. Okay, this is much more biological. I was experiencing more of there. I don't know. There are also there are this chimpanzee and all. Their spine also is vertical. I feel. I'm not a biology student for that. I did engineering, so I'm fearful of biology. One last. We have
Restraint.
last. Restrain.
Yeah.
Okay, that is also something similar to what someone said, discrimination. This is good answer, definitely. Okay, okay. So many hands are up. One last, definitely one last.
Consciousness?
No, animals also have consciousness. See, consciousness means thinking, feeling, willing. Are they thinking? They are also feeling. Consciousness is sum total of this. We will see about it today. So animals also are conscious. See, this is not conscious being. This is dead matter. It can't move. It can't think. Are animals like this or they are alive? That means consciousness is there. Okay. One last. They also do that. Right? They also improve. Okay. Now let me tell you what are our scriptures telling about it. What is the difference? What is the speciality? Do animals lack intelligence? No, we just saw. Animals have rational power and intelligence. Animals are even better than human beings in these four activities. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. Animals are even better than us. How much elephant can eat? 200 kgs at one time. How much can we eat? Even 2 kgs we will suffer. Animals can sleep. Polar bear sleeps for 6 months. How much can we sleep? Very difficult, right? So in these four activities, animals are even better. Then what is our speciality? Why do we consider humans are so special? Okay, let's go ahead. So I will share this verse and then come back to this. There is this verse in Bhagavad Gita. You can try to repeat this. No, this is Mahabharata. Sorry, not Bhagavad Gita. This is from Mahabharata. You can repeat this verse. Is very important. Very nice verse. Ahara nidra bhayamaithunam cha samanyam etad pashubhir naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharmena hina pashubhi samana. So it's a simple Sanskrit. Ahara means eating food, eating, nidra, sleeping, bhaya, defending, what we were discussing, and maithunamcha is enjoyment, mating. आहार निद्रा भय मैथुनम च समान्यम एतत् पशु भी नर. समान है, समान यानी सेम है, इक्वल है. किसमें? पशु एंड नर. इट इज सेम बिटवीन एनिमल्स एंड ह्यूमन. बट व्हाट इज स्पेशलिटी ऑफ ह्यूमन? धर्मो हि तेषाम अधिको विशेषो. The adhika vishesh of human beings is dharma. Now, dharma here in our scripture doesn't refer to the religion. Not the Hindu, Muslim, Ishai, that is all external. Dharma is the innate quality of us, what we have. And what is it? That dharma is, it is mentioned, to inquire about higher realities of life. To make higher inquiries of life. That is real dharma of humans. That makes a human being special. Dharmena hina pashubhi samana. If that is not there, then that human being is almost like animal, because he is doing almost the activities of animal only. So as someone said, we have intelligence, developed intelligence, more intelligence. That is correct. But if that intelligence is only used for the same four activities of eating, sleeping, mating and defending, which animals are also doing, then that's not really very great. That's what we were trying to discuss. That our intelligence, which is very developed intelligence, should be used for some higher cause. And that higher cause are the higher inquiries. Like here, animals can only inquire about eating, sleeping, mating, fearing. They also are inquiring. You say morning, the birds start chirping. They are also actually talking to each other. What are they talking? Where will we get food? Where will we eat? Where will we sleep? Where will we get mate? That's all. Their only business is that. But for a human being, a human can inquire about higher principles of life, death, and beyond. So what kind of inquiries are higher inquiries in life? Here is a list of few. Who am I? Does God exist? Then who is the true guide? Is there life after death? Who is the supreme person? Why bad thing happens to good people? How to achieve unending happiness? I don't want to suffer, but why I have to suffer in this world? How many of us want to suffer? How many of us want to get some disease or want to suffer in this world? No, nobody. But then why I am forced to do that? See, animals cannot think about it. But only human beings have developed intelligence to actually inquire. So like that, and these questions are answered in our scriptures, like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad and other Puranas. They are meant for human beings. Like we can't have all the, let's say, cats of and dogs of the Tellapur come together and let us do a Bhagavad Gita course. No, they can't understand, right? Only humans can come together and understand these higher inquiries. Do you agree? All of you? So this is the purpose what we are going to, this was just an introduction, why you should spend this time. And I really congratulate you, because now we are going to understand some very, very important secrets of life, or truths of life. And somebody may say, okay, is it really required? I am anyways doing good. Actually, if we do not utilize the God-given higher intelligence for this purpose, then only eating, sleeping, mating, defending, behaving just like animal, doing those activities can't really make us happy. So I skip those slides, I'll go back to them. See, despite of so much advancement, unfortunately, the modern humans are, nowadays we see what is going on. So much of dissatisfaction, anxiety, stress, depression, and overall unhappiness. Even if you ask your grandparents, they will say, we had less, but we were more happy. We were happier than what all of you have more, but you are less and less unhappy. Just open a newspaper. 98% news is about some killing, some theft, some rape, murder. The society in itself is unhappy. How many of you ever heard a news that a dog in your society committed suicide? A cat jumped from your balcony because she was not getting, she was depressed because of competition. It doesn't happen in animal society. That means we have become, we want happiness, but in the pursuit of happiness, we have become lower than the animals. Why? What is missing? The missing point is what we have been made for. What can I say? The higher intelligence is given us for a purpose, and we are not using it for that purpose. And that's why there is inherent dissatisfaction in all of our hearts. So if you want to remove that dissatisfaction, then we have to consult Bhagavad Gita. And that's what Gita actually teaches us. Yeah, as I said, no riots, no suicide, no divorces, no drug abuse in animal kingdom. They don't divorce. That's more in human beings. Uh, Even in India, for that matter, I don't know if you're aware. In 1950s, I heard the first divorce happened. For India में unheard था पहले divorce and all. People were tolerant and somehow adjusting and happy actually. Now so much intolerance has happened. I mean, I'm not commenting anything, but when first divorce happened in India, it was a news headline in the newspaper. Nowadays, only in Bangalore, I heard this statistic, only in one city of Bangalore, daily there are 15 divorces. Daily. And now it's become so common. And who do you think are suffering with these things? The rickshaw walas, right? The juggi jhopadi walas, they are, no, the educated, the techies, the, IIT guys. I mean, everything they have. Then why no happiness? Why life is so miserable? This is what we are also going to see through this. So what makes human beings superior? We already saw that. The higher inquiry. Okay. I hope you are still, till here you are with me. Your understanding, is the pace okay? Are you able to, okay, you have a question? Question? We wanted to take it at last, but one I can take. Fine. One question I can take and others later. Yes.
So I think we discussed that how animals are different from humans, but we saw it in the perspective of humans only, that, hey, animals cannot do all these things like thinking or maybe go for pursuit of God, etc. over there, right? So how do we say that no, animals are not doing that thing? Because we don't know their word, right? We don't know what they talk. We don't know what they think, right? So I'm just having curiosity about this one.
Okay. Um, it's a little observation, it's a simple common sense observation if we can make. Um, it's not that animals are staying in some other planet and we're talking about something extra worldly. We can just look around. Do you see the cat and dog and all having some conferences or discussing something really great? Do they have like spiritual sadhana or something higher? It's a very simple, I think, a very common observation. We can see that only anxiety they have is 4 things only: eating, sleeping, mating, defending. This is, I think, it's more of a common sense observation. And also, from where we are getting is from the scriptures. The scriptures also very clearly explain. Obviously, we are also going to talk about the scriptures in future sessions. So, I mean, this is very simple to observe that they have their lives are centered around only these 4 things, their activities. Yes, that is a very separate. Okay. So this animals, which these are exceptions. When God comes, along with God, some of His associates come in the form of animals. So these animals we are talking about in general. So when Ram comes, yes, Hanumanji comes, who is not an animal, monkey actually. He is a devotee of God who takes that form and comes. So that's a separate thing which we will see after some time. But in general, from our logical, scientific perspective, okay, which we see the world around, we were discussing. Okay, so we'll take these questions later. Okay, now let's come to the next part of our discussion. In the inquiries which I spoke about, the higher inquiries, the very fundamental inquiry with which Bhagavad Gita begins is the knowledge which Bhagavad Gita begins is, who are we? Who am I? Now you all may say that I know who am I. I am an Indian, I am Gujarati, I am Telugu, I am a man, I am a woman, I am a IT professional. What else will you say if you are asked, who are you? You can give your name, definitely. In an interview, when you give, who are you? Then we say, I am so and so. Right? Is this what we consider ourselves? Yes, true. But is this our real identity? That is what we are going to see. Why should we study about it? You see the context of Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna and Arjuna are on the battlefield. I assume that you are aware of this scene. So Krishna and Arjuna, Krishna is driving the chariot of Arjuna, and Arjuna is overwhelmed with this anxiety that, Krishna, I don't want to fight. He's seeing his relatives in front and he says, no, I don't want to now fight. My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my Gandiva is shaping. He's the hero of Mahabharata. The whole war was depending on Arjuna. He was a very capable person, right? And now, right at the climax, when the war has to begin, the conch shells are blown, Arjuna gives up. Says, I can't fight. He is overcome with anxiety, depression. That Arjuna, after he heard, so what was the Arjuna that time? Lack of confidence, anxiety, demoralized, stress, depressed. This was the Arjuna in the beginning. And when Lord Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of self, what we are also going to study, the result of that was, how did Arjuna become? He came out victorious. He became confident. He understood what is his duty, what he has to do. So like that, in our lives also, we go through such situations in life. So if we want to also understand the true meaning of life, the true purpose of life, and come out victorious in this battle of life, then this knowledge is also very important for us. Lord Krishna used Arjuna to actually give this knowledge to all of us. And it's very relevant even now. At times people think, oh, this Gita, Bhagavad, these are very old books. What is it has to give and take with me in the current scenario, modern world? It is very much applicable. And when we go through this knowledge, you yourself will realize how this knowledge is very transformative and very applicable to all of us. So, okay, so why we should study? So we are going to cover these topics. I'm not sure whether today we can do it because we already started a little late, but these are the topics I'll take one by one in this session. So coming back to this, who are we? Who are you? So there is this professor, Harry Monson, a professor of anatomy, Illinois College of Medicine. He says, he has an answer for it. He says, the human body consists of 60 pounds body consists of 5 pounds of calcium, 1.5 pounds of phosphate, 9 of pounds of potassium, 9 of sulfur, and so on and so forth. And then he says the total cost of this is 110 rupees. So that's what we are, according to this professor, right? Agree? Because he's a great scientist from a very prestigious university. So he is telling the cost of all of us is 110 rupees. Please raise your hand if you agree. Yes. So the sir agrees there behind. So now I have a question for him. Let's say you are able to hear? Yeah. If one of your friends, just an imagination, may not happen, but he goes through an accident. He is driving a Mercedes, very costly car. He meets an accident and he is injured. The car is also broken. You reach that spot and you have to decide whether to take the friend to hospital or car to garage. What will you do first? But the friend is only 110 rupees. The car is crores of rupees. You just said you agree with the professor. You should be smart, right? Thoda to calculation lagao, 100 rupees and 1 crore rupees. First you should take car, right? According to this? No. We understand that this life, my friend, whatever, this life which we have is much more precious. Agree? So it's not that we are just these chemicals. We have identity beyond this. Definitely this body is made up of chemicals. The science has analyzed this body and then they are saying, okay, this is the chemical you have. But the life itself is not just combination of chemicals. If it was the case, then the chemicals are anyways there in the market. Why can't they produce life? If I take, one of you and throw from this 4th floor, I won't do it, don't worry. Then what is going to happen? Police will catch me. And if I said, okay, don't worry, what such a big thing? 100 rupees ko to niche feka na. Chalo theek hai, 1000 rupees le lo, chhod do. Will police leave me? No, sir, you have killed a person. But that person, science only is saying is just some chemicals. So there is a mismatch. Science is saying something, but we don't believe it actually. Life is very precious. What is that life? Is it just combination of some chemicals? Let us see what Bhagavad Gita has to say on this. Okay. Is this your identity? Definitely not. Okay. Sorry for showing such pictures. You didn't expect. But yeah, she was one famous actress, South only, I think she was, right? Known as for her beauty in Bollywood. I don't have to tell name also. I think you know, one goddess, Devi Mata of Bollywood. But I'm going to show another picture. Don't get surprised and shocked. When she died, this actress, then the body became. So after death, what happened? Just after the death, chemicals are same. Chemicals start decomposing after some time, but immediately after death, the same only. All the chemicals are there, but there is no feeling, there is no thinking, there are no desires, there is no movement, there is no consciousness. What is the difference between a living body, which is so beautiful, which is so charming, and just after death, the body is actually decomposing, there is no movement, there is no feeling, there is no desire. What is the difference? If it's only some chemical difference, then you just inject that chemical, then person should come alive. Why don't we do it? What is life? What is gone? What is the difference between souls? Thank you, because in India most of us know about it. This is what Bhagavad Gita says. Same body, but the soul is gone. That is our real identity. Atma. That is what Bhagavad Gita says. That is the basic knowledge Bhagavad Gita gives. Not Bhatakti Atma. That's, people are wrong. Atma is a very sacred thing. Do not think Atma means people feel some horror thing. No. Atma is actually what we are. Spirit. Soul. That's the term in English. So, there are many wonderful verses in Bhagavad Gita. You try to repeat this. न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचिन् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्य शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे. So here Lord Krishna says in summary, this verse says, for soul there is neither birth nor death at any time. We are not this material body. This is like a covering. There's another verse which says, Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. If your clothes are torn, by mistake, something happens, it's torn. What do? Change the clothes. You wear new clothes. The Lord Krishna says this is exactly when the body is no more useful, the soul gives up body and takes on another body. This is called Janma Mrityu, and we have heard about it, fortunately, in India, somewhere, but not very logically and scientifically. We're not probably given a serious thought to it. So that's what we are going to do in this course. We're going to seriously think about it. So, Krishna says, for soul there is neither birth nor death. What dies? Body. What takes birth? Body. What grows? The body. The soul remains the same. So that is our real identity. So here there is a difference between body and soul. Body is actually matter. It is made up of what? Bone, mucus, bile, that's matter. But the soul is spirit. It is antimatter. It is not matter. It is different in nature. Body is not conscious. As soon as the soul leaves body, the body is non-conscious. Body dies dead, and as we say, there is no thinking, feeling, willing, movement, nothing. That means no consciousness, like a stone, like a non-living object. But soul is that which gives consciousness to body. I was recently hearing one news, probably a year back, not so recent, but in Bangalore only, someone told me that one husband-wife, they would stay. Both of them were working and life was going well. This husband suddenly died because of some heart stroke. And this family, they were only two of them, wife and husband, lady and that man. And they have all relatives in Maharashtra. They were from that background. So in Pune. So this lady, suddenly husband died. So it was night, she called and she said, now this has happened. The parents and relatives said, okay, we are coming. By tomorrow morning, we'll reach. So surprisingly, this lady said, okay, you can come tomorrow, but I don't want to stay here. I will go and stay in some hotel. They have no relative there. So I will stay in some hotel. I can't stay alone with the dead body here. She was fearful. I was put to a thought, this is the same man and body with whom she was living so many years. Now what has happened? The body is the same. But suddenly she says, no, this I can't do it. And she stayed, and next day some people came, and then further things happened. So what is that person actually whom she was loving and staying and she was attracted to is not the body, is actually the soul. And as soon as the soul left that body, actually we also, if you see a dead body, we feel little fearful, and even, it is said also contaminated to touch. But actually this auspiciousness, the living force is the soul, which is the body. So the body is not conscious. Body changes, the soul does not change. Soul remains the same. Body is temporary. We have to change the bodies. Now this body, how many of you are very sure that 2156 you are going to be around to see your great grandchildren? None of us. Are we sure this body has to go at one point of time? It is temporary. Somebody has 80 years, somebody has 100, somebody may have 110 also, but not, I think not beyond that, right? So it is temporary, but soul is eternal. We will exist in what I said, 2156. We all are going to be there. If I ask you, where were you when India got independence? You may say, no, I didn't exist. No, we existed. We were in some different form, not in this body. This body didn't exist, but we existed. And where will you be in 3000 something? We will still exist. That is what Lord Krishna tells Arjuna. We are eternal as soul, but body is temporary. Body is dead, soul is actually alive, which gives life. So this is an example. You are not the body that you see in mirror. You are Atma, soul, the real driver of the bodily car. We are going to see this later. The material viewpoint is to see that we are just made up of these bodies of matter. We are no more than chemical bundle, and everything is finished at the time of death. This is what most of the people are nowadays. That's how they behave. That's what they think. That we are just these material bodies. With death, everything is finished. But there is a spiritual point of view which says that we are actually the spirit soul beyond this material body. We are engaged in this material body, and we do not die when material body stops functioning. Once there was, this lady, in this picture you can see, a small picture. There was this rich lady, she brought a parrot, and she put that parrot in a nice golden cage. And she was very careful to take care of the cage very nicely every day. She would clean the cage very nicely. She would take a lot of care of the cage, the pinjra, the cage. But she forgot to feed the parrot. What will happen? The parrot died. It's simple. Similarly, this body is like a cage in which the soul resides. And if you only take care of the body and forget the soul, then the soul doesn't die, but soul is covered. And then we experience dissatisfaction and unhappiness in life. How many of you feel very nice when you come to a temple like this, or you hear some nice spiritual soothing music, some nice meditation? People find peace, and our friend said peace, right? They find peace in spiritual activities. Why? Because that is touching the soul. That is the food for the soul. But nowadays what is happening, because this discussion is not happening, we do not know about it, we are just taking care of these bodies and thinking this is all. This is only the life. That is what we need to understand. It is not fact. So not knowing the real identity as the soul, people spend all their life polishing the cage, pampering body without feeding the soul, right? So now we are going to the last part. Another 10 minutes. We started late, so I will come up. So the proofs of soul's existence. So we saw that, okay, Bhagavad Gita says, but are there any proofs also? Yes, even science nowadays has started pointing to an existence of something beyond this body. So we're going to see some scientific evidence also for this. I'm not sure if I can cover the whole thing, but let's see how much we can cover in another 10 minutes. Okay, this is very interesting. I need a volunteer for it. Any one of you. I need a volunteer. Okay, sir, please come here. And I'm going to ask you some very simple, basic questions. Please be ready. I would have probably asked a child to come, but okay, okay. Can you show me your left hand? Okay, your right ear, your head, your stomach, your body, yourself. Same? Are you the same? So, okay, you can say. This is my right hand. Am I right hand? Or do you possess right hand? You possess. If your hand is not there, you may say, okay, somebody has, na? Hand cut ho gaya to bhi. We possess right hand. This is ear, this is nose, right? Similar, we say this is my hand, this is my head, this is my leg. That means I possess this. This belongs to me. Right? Like for example, let me make it, this is my phone. Am I phone? My phone means phone is different and I purchase this phone, so it belongs to me, right? What do we say for body? My body or I body? Isn't it grammatical mistake? If we are this body only, and that's what we were thinking till now, then you should say I body, not my body. If you say my body, that means you have existence different from body. We are not this body, we possess body. Just like I possess this mobile, I possess this laptop, similarly I also possess this body. Then who are we? We answered it, we are soul. We saw Bhagavad Gita saying, but then it's so common sense also, we have been using it. Okay, let's do another common sense thing. If you have to inform some of your friend about a death, like let's say your neighbor passed away, someone in your neighborhood, and you have to inform, what do we generally say? Say, let's say Hindi or English. What will we say? A proper way of communication. Any answers? हाँ? अच्छा ऐसा कहते हैं, स्वर्गस्थ हो गए, ठीक है? Anything? वो चल बसे, गुजर गए, Hindi, if you know. I don't know Telugu much, so if there are Telugus. Or he's no more. He's no more. Passed away. Now the body is still there lying. Who passed away? Passed away means कोई गया ना? कौन गया? गुजर गए, कौन? Means that person was not the body which is lying. The person was something else. And this is what we have been saying. This is there in our culture. But how many of us really think about this? Why should we think about it? You may say, yeah, it's okay. We also know a little bit. But the point is, body is like car. Let's say a car is standing in front of this center. If it's standing for 1,000 years also, will the car move on its own? A driver has to get inside. The driver is like soul. This body is actually driven by the soul. As soon as soul leaves the body, body will be dead. Can't do anything. So this analogy also tells us something very interesting. For the car, there is some certain food. What is it? Petrol or diesel. You go and if you have a driver, you say, okay, take this money, put some petrol. Will you tell the driver, okay, drink some petrol yourself also? No, driver का food अलग है. Similarly, ये body का care एक अलग चीज़ है और soul का care अलग है. And most of us are not caring for the soul. And that is the root cause of all the dissatisfaction and happiness in this world. Okay, so that's why we have to understand about this knowledge. So this is common sense, one proof. Second, this I already spoke. Consciousness. Some of you, if you are from science background, I believe most of you, there is something called as the mysteries of modern science. Modern science is not able to understand a few things. They're still thinking, breaking their brains, scientists, and thinking this is something very mysterious. One of the mysteries, rather the most prominent, you can even Google it out yourself, is the consciousness mystery. the science doesn't know from where does this consciousness really originates. Is it brain? Is it some organ in the body? And then they have done experiments of transplanting the brain and changing, and they found still the consciousness exists. Consciousness basically means thinking, feeling, willing. Simplified way of understanding it. The ability to think, willingness, and feelings which we experience. So nowadays, artificial intelligence and all this is coming up. They're trying their best to make that consciousness, make the machines conscious. Still, by feeding a lot of data and doing some programs, it's a very cheap imitation, but it's still not the consciousness, the cognitive power which humans have. It's still not coming. Obviously, for someone may argue saying that no, it will happen someday, but that post-dated check is invalid. Right now, what do we understand? Okay, let me give more explanation. Say there is a machine which is programmed to say, I see red light, which it can do well. If it says a red light, it will say, okay, I see red light. But when we see that red light, we understand, we have some feelings about it. We understand feeling, okay, it may be to stop. I don't have to act in certain way. Or maybe give another example. You see a red rose. If a young boy and a girl together, and then they gives a red rose. I'm sorry for giving such example, but making it more interactive. So then suddenly there are feelings about it. Now, if that boy gives that red rose to a machine, the machine may say, I see a red rose, but are there feelings? Right? There are robots. I recently saw there's one robot, they're doing Aarti of Balaji. The robot is doing Aarti of Balaji. Now, if a devotee of Balaji, a bhakta of Balaji stands in front of Balaji and does an Aarti, there are emotions. There is devotion in the heart. Will that robot have those feelings? Can you give those feelings to it? It can do the activity well, much better than humans also. But the thinking, feeling and willing, the consciousness is missing. Agree? That consciousness is a missing link. We still do not know from where is this consciousness coming. And if we go to scriptures, Bhagavad Gita says the soul is the source of consciousness. As soon as soul leaves body, the consciousness is not there. So that spirit is actually the source of, nothing material is source of consciousness. Otherwise, we can also make that in laboratory, but it is not, right? There is something called as near-death experience. A lot of research has happened. Near-death experience means sometime a patient or somebody who encounters death very closely. A close encounter with death, Hare Krishna. So a close encounter with a death, and a patient is clinically, Hare Krishna. So clinically the patient is in coma or unconscious, but after some time when it comes to consciousness, the patient is able to recollect. Like, you can again Google out these things yourself. There are wonderful documentaries made by BBC and all of them. Here it says 11 to 14% of average American population who are mentally and physically healthy have had OB, out of body experience or near death experience. This is Medical Journal of Pediatrics. So there's so many books which are already written. It's there on the screen, you can see. So what is happening? I'll give an example. There was one auto rickshaw driver. There was a case where by accident he had an accident, and there was one, what do you call it, a metal object which went through his his chest, and he was in coma. When he was taken to hospital, he was coma. Medically he should be unconscious completely, but when this person was operated and he came to consciousness, he was able to recollect every conversation which was happening in the operation theater between doctor and the nurses and everything. And then they could not explain how it is possible, because brain was not functioning that time. How this, and then he was asked, and he said, actually I was looking at myself getting operated from somewhere, as if I was on the top and I was looking at it. How is it? This is another mystery which science has not been yet able to answer. So the only answer for this is in our scriptures. The soul, along with, for some time lives the body because of some reason, but it came back again in the body. That is the only feasible explanation for this. Also, there are these reincarnation studies. Now I'll end with this, last 5 minutes. There is one, this Professor Ian Stevenson. He's professor of psychiatry. He was, now he's no more. He studied 3,000 cases, and I have read about his books and about his life. He was very skeptical. You know, this reincarnation means past life memories. Some children speaking about, something weird. It said, I was this, I was that in the childhood. And then most of the time parents neglect, but sometimes they have nightmares in the childhood. And some parents actually started investigating what my son is saying or child is saying, is it really true? And then they found that actually what he is saying is true. A person exists like this, and all so on and so forth. So this Professor Ian Stevenson, he is not a Bhagavad Gita scholar or anything. He was a scientist. He was very critical. He started his journey of this, he started his investigation to prove it wrong. Because he said, I will critically analyze and prove it, all this is wrong. But when he investigated several cases, he investigated 3,000 cases. Surely some of them were fake, but few cases, more than 1,000 cases he found in his lifestyle and in his life, which he could not have any other explanation than to accept that this person he had lived before. He had to accept. He said everything else he crossed. No possibility than to accept that the person actually lived before. So he had written a lot of books. You see on the screen, all these books had been written on this past life memories, reincarnation. This is called as. I'll come to this, but there is a wonderful video. I'll end with this. Do we have sound?
They have the same name and boyish good looks. James M. Houston, raised in the Midwest. James M. Leininger, a young boy from the Bayou. Whoa!
There's something in the eyes. It's undeniable.
That's not all they share.
Somehow James Houston's spirit has affected my son, either through reincarnation. I don't know how it happened.
I can make the Japanese easy as pie.
Initially, what caught my attention was James's extreme fascination with airplanes.
And every night he slept with his G.I. Joe action figures, which he named.
I took him to the Kavanaugh Flight Museum.
Here's home video. While the other kids casually look at the plane, 2-year-old James seems to inspect it. Watch as he checks the underbelly, then climbs inside, donning the headset.
I said, oh look, there's a bomb on the bottom. He said, that's not a bomb, that's a drop tank.
Bouncing about in the cockpit, James was flying high. That night, their world would change forever.
He started having the nightmares, and that was my first indication that there was something wrong. It was a panic-stricken, terrorized screaming.
Over and over again, James had the same terrible nightmare, 4 to 5 times a week. He was too young to explain the dream, but he could draw.
Bombing ships, you see men parachuting. Here's another one where planes are dropping bombs.
He would just be crying. He'd say, airplane crash on fire, the little man can't get out. He laid on his back and kicked up at the ceiling, and he goes, no, the little man's going like this. And he laid on his back and kicked his feet up. The little man's going, ooh, 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 can't get out. And I said, well, who's the little man, baby? And he goes, me. I thought Bruce and I were just gonna faint.
They questioned, what kind of plane?
Corsair.
Why did your airplane crash?
My plane was shot down.
Who shot your plane?
He looked at me like I was a village idiot. He said,
the Japanese. I kept thinking, where's he getting this? I was a stay-at-home mom, so I knew that there wasn't anything that he was being exposed to.
Not exposed to in this life, but perhaps, just maybe, somebody else was. Decades earlier, James Houston grew up with the same insatiable fascination with airplanes. He became a naval fighter pilot and fought in World War II. March 3rd, 1945, during a mission near Iwo Jima, he took a direct hit. At age 21, was declared missing and presumed dead.
where did he take off from a boat?
Do you remember the name of your boat? He said Natoma.
Found several thousand hits on the word Natoma.
The USS Natoma Bay launched into battle, headed for Iwo Jima in the fight for Lady Gulf.
It's the biggest naval battle in the history of the world.
Leo Pike served on the ship. From his home in Ohio, he organizes the Natoma Bay reunions. That's how Bruce found him.
I wanted to disprove it.
He asked a few questions about, did I know some of the people? Oh yeah, I remember those people. And so he got very quiet.
It was all real. The people and places James described actually existed. And remember those G.I. Joe dolls that James named? Turns out, 3 men with the same names, first and last, served on the Natoma and were killed in action. James said they greeted him in heaven after his crash.
I'd always asked him, do you remember what your name was? And he always said James. But his name is James.
Yes, there was a Jim Houston, a rather large shell, just hit him in the engine and it burst into flames and went down.
They showed Leo the drawings.
He was right on the nose. I'm sure, in my mind, that he was there.
Leo invited James, now 3, to the reunion. James recognized several pilots, even called them by name.
You're Bob Greenwald. I'm serious.
He's never met Bob Greenwald.
No, he'd never met him before.
And someone else was invited. James Houston's sister, Anne.
And he goes, it's not Anne, it's Annie. She wasn't my oldest sister. I had an older sister than that. And I said, you did? Who was that? And he goes, Ruth. I mean Ruth.
Annie is what they called me when I was little, knowing my name and my sister's name, things that my brother did when he was a kid. It's too amazing to describe how he would feel that way, but he does. He considers me his sister.
Okay, so I hope it was self-explanatory. There was this boy who was recollecting his past, and these are very, we put this video because this is not Indian. This is some American family who doesn't believe in all this. They were shocked that their son is having these nightmares and he's saying, I'm a pilot, I was dead, I was shot dead, and he was having nightmares. And when they started researching, they found. And this Ian Stevenson, I have read his books and I have those if somebody is more interested. He had multiple ways of analyzing the case. It's not only that he would check the facts, he would accompany these people and with the boy, and he would see also, just a small kid, he would also see their emotions. Like when this boy meets his sister, last life sisters, he has a certain emotional outburst. Even that was noted. No, that can't be faked. You may just fake some fact, but not the emotions which somebody feels. Then also, he has documented some birth marks of these people. That, where they got shot or some accident happened. Right at that place, in the next life, there is some kind of birthmark. And that correlation was also established. That is biological proof. So a lot of research he has done. And then after he did this research for several decades, this Ian Stevenson said, I started my research to disprove it, but now I can boldly tell the world that there is life after death. We may not believe it in those religions, but it is actually fact. And what is that light after that? This body goes and the soul exists to live, to continue. So this is what Bhagavad Gita is, the basic of Bhagavad Gita, which we all. Next time when I begin, I will also tell you another very interesting story of Shukla Gupta, which happened in India. Another case of reincarnation investigated by Ian Stevenson. And we will then go to see what other religions say about reincarnation. Even other religions have this understanding that life exists even after death. And then we will also see further thing, especially mechanism of mind, which is going to be very interesting. We are going to see that we have 3 layers of existence actually. The soul is covered by 2 more layers. One is subtle body and another is gross body. Gross body is this body, Pancha Mahabhut, earth, water, air, fire, ether. This is what we consider ourselves as body. Inside this also there is subtle body, which is made up of mind, intelligence and false ego. What is it? Next time. And then we will also learn about mind, because there the concept of mind is going to come. And we will see what is the difference between mind and intelligence and how we can control our mind by understanding this and what Bhagavad Gita prescribes on that. So we are going to see about it. And then finally, also practical benefits of knowing this knowledge of soul in everyday life for all of us. And like that, we will continue our journey. There are many interesting things to know. Like today, probably you felt something valuable, interesting you learned. Like that, trust me that there are very important things. So please do keep your time, this time, on a priority that you come and take benefit of these discussions and also get benefited from this knowledge. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, are there any questions? I mean, yeah, we can take a couple of questions now, and then after that, I'm available. You can take your food and come, and we can have discussions. I mean, we have a small kirtan also in between, Aarti and Kirtan, and after that, we can continue questions. I am here for whatever time you need, clarify all your doubts. Just that we have less time, so we will close it after some time and continue questions later. Yes, madam. Please.
We leave the body.
No, I don't agree with the first statement.
Okay.
We have soul nahi. We are
the
soul, we have body.
Yeah, so we just change our bodies, right? So why then there was a population less and now it's higher? Is the souls increasing or what it is?
No. Souls do not increase, souls do not decrease. But it's a good question. See, we have to understand from Vedic perspective, souls are not only present on this planet. Souls are everywhere in Brahmanda. Very recently, there was a scientific journal paper. They have found bacteria in fire. Our understanding of modern science is for life to exist, you need certain conditions. See, now they are looking for life, extraterrestrial life on other planets. What are they looking for? Oxygen hai kya? If oxygen is there, there is a possibility of life. But is it really necessary that life, the soul has to have oxygen to survive? Bhagavad Gita says, now this we will come to discussion in the next session. The gross body is made up of 5 elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether. Okay, Pancha Mahabhut it is called. What is it? Prithvi, Jala, Vayu, Agni, Akash. The gross body can be made up of any of these material element prominently. In our body, this body on planet Earth, as we call, earth and water is the prominent component. But it could be fire as prominent component also. And the soul can exist in that. And that is what they are coming to understanding. They say, okay, there are some bacteria in fire they have found, which is very surprising. So the point here is, souls are not only on this planet. There is intraplanetary movement of souls, according to scriptures. So we are seeing some increase in the number of humans here, or so animals might be decreasing, or souls are coming from some other planets here. So that is the explanation given by scriptures. But the soul in itself, they don't get destroyed, nor are they born, nor are they created.
Why?
Okay, is that understandable?
Yeah,
okay.
but why human population is higher? Is that a promotion? Like from bacteria to human?
No, actually, this has a twofold answer. It is our theory that it is increased. If you read Mahabharata, only the number of people who died on the battlefield were so huge. That means population was there that time also. Now we were brainwashed to say that, oh, this is all mythology. Now we are going to discuss that also in one of the session. It is not mythology, it is actually fact. So the figures we have of the previous population may be wrong, first of all. And even if we see, there is always an exchange going on between, sometimes humans are more, some souls come from animal kingdom to human kingdom. Some souls go from human kingdom to animal kingdom. Some are liberated and that is called moksha. Some go back to something called as our original home. We have an entire session on that. They don't come back to this world. So that is called as self-realization or liberation or moksha. So we'll talk about it. So the point here is, there is a travel of souls from various bodies going on. So why we see an increase of population? There's some souls, probably because of some good karma, they are getting human body. Human body is given to some who have good karma. And with human body comes responsibility. Here, human birth is a junction where we can decide, we can go up We can go for higher destinations or we can go down. Animals have no choice. Like you might have heard, there are 84 lakh species. I don't know, in Hindu concepts, people have heard it before. It is a reality. So our scriptures say there are 84 lakh species of life. Like human beings only, there are 4 lakh kinds of human beings, according to our scriptures. Do we say no? We just know one. Basically, depending on the consciousness, there are different varieties. Like do you say dogs also? There are so many varieties of dogs, right? Alsatian and Labrador and this and that. So dogs also so many varieties. Cats so many varieties. Fish so many varieties. And when the soul goes to animal kingdom, then he has to take all these bodies. After going through all these bodies, the soul comes to human body. And the human body is a junction point. If we use human body properly for what it is meant for, then we can go for higher destinations. There are better human lives than what we have. On, like you might have heard, heavens, Swarga, there is better life available there. They are also human beings only. Devatas, they are also human, they are human body, but better life. We can go for that, or we can even go out of this world to the spiritual kingdom. Or we can, if we do not use this body properly, we can degrade to animal life also. So it's a junction point. So the point here is there is a flux which is going on between humans and all this 84 lakh species of life. And right now we may feel that there is more population, but it is previously, if you read our scriptures, the population which is mentioned is much more than which is now, right now. And this kind of flux which keeps on going. So there is nothing surprising about it. Yes, it is possible that some from animal species also soul are coming, some are coming from the heavens also to the to this human kingdom now. For whatever reason, there may be an increase compared to previous decades. But in a objective way, it is not that this is something very weird happening or this is impossible.
So if we are trying to control the population, right? Is that that we are stopping some soul to get this human body?
According to scriptures, yes, they do not recommend. They recommend restraint, but not the modern ways of population control. They remain restrain is what the man and woman coming together. They remain okay. You restrain yourself and progenate responsibly. But abortion and the other kinds of methods, they do not recommend. That is sinful, definitely. According to our scriptures, they consider this as sin. Once the soul has been given an opportunity to come in the womb of a mother by a man and woman coming together, after that it should not be stopped. And you see, it's a very big cosmic machine which is working. It's not that if a man and a woman decides, it's on them to bring the souls. The souls will find their way of coming into this world according to the nature's arrangement. If a particular man and woman become an instrument, then the soul will come through them as their children. If they are not willing to, then the soul will come through some other agency. Okay, so it's not that we have a control over the population explosion or not. The souls will anyways come to this world according to their karma. That's a bigger plan of cosmic cycle. Now, a lot of which I'm not able to speak because some more concepts you need to understand before you understand the complete picture. So this much I can explain, and the more you will hear in the further sessions how this world works. We have just spoken about ourselves. Now who has created this world? Who is God? Is it just a myth to consider that there is a controller who is controlling this? Because all these kind of things we cannot understand unless we understand there is a controller who is controlling all this. So when we come to that discussion, things will become a little more clearer also. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a nice question. Thank you. Okay, one more question. Yes. Take mic.
So you talk about the incarnation, right?
Reincarnation. Yes.
So there, the memory, because all the memories, whatever you mentioned, that I am a pilot or my sister. So these are all in the mind only, correct? So when its body got destroyed,
No. So what is death? We're going to see this next time. See, I told you there are three coverings: soul, subtle body, gross body. Almost like just to like body, and then we have the shirt, and I may wear a sweater. So three coverings like that. Example: death is when the subtle body leaves with the soul and leaves the gross body behind. But subtle body is what? Mind, intelligence, false ego. That goes with the soul to the next gross body.
so mind is not this one, the brain.
No, brain and mind is different.
Okay.
Brain is a part of the gross body only. It is made up of what? Earth, water, fire, air, ether. It's actually a matter. It's not subtle. Subtle is something which is not made up of these five elements. Which is subtle means sukshma, right? So, so brain is an instrument through which mind works.
Okay.
Like a software. Where is software in this laptop? Can you show me? Bring it out. No, it's everywhere, kind of. It's a software which manifests through hardware. So brain is a hardware and mind is software. I hope this will make much sense, better sense to all of you. So this mind goes with the soul to the next destination. That's why sometimes, but then you may say, okay, why don't we remember? Everyone should remember. That is by nature's remedy. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Matta smrutir jnanam apohanamcha. I give forgetfulness. If we can remember our past life, how we died, someone did to us, how we were killed, or whatever has happened, how miserable we will be now. Can we peacefully live? We can't. So God, by mercifully, in Bhagavad Gita only Krishna says, I mercifully delete those memories when you take the next body. Only as an exception, to also give us this knowledge that yes, there was a life. Some people, some very few exceptions have this memory. And that too in childhood only. Because the transition is not yet complete. There is a trauma which you go through one life and then the body is given immediately. So there is some memory, but it fades away. That's why we will see this past life memory only in children below 7-year age. After that, they also start kind of forgetting it and they also become normal. You got the whole thing?
Yeah.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
And,
So the whole point is mind goes with the body to the next, that is death.
So then mind will be there even after death.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Same mind we are carrying in this world.
So yeah, the only memory will erase by God.
I did not speak about one thing. Maybe I'll just 2 minutes because this question. There's one more thing in the slide. It was about phobia. Have you heard this term phobia? Some unnatural fear. Somebody has for height. Somebody has for water. Some people have that. And they don't know why. Even science, there are so many cases. They say, why somebody is fearful of water, they don't know. But they are so fearful. Now, how do we explain this? It is because previous life, maybe there was some encounter with water and somebody drowned or something. Now, the person doesn't remember the exact incident, but there is an impression, very strong impression on the mind, and one feels fearful. And if you know how they cure phobias, if you anybody medical, there is no medicine to cure it. They do this something called hypnotism. There is hypnotic regression process. To do hypnotism, they give instruction to that person, go back in your previous life, and they said, okay, think what was it, that incident, and you forget it. So because then actually in that hypnotism they are accessing subtle mind. Mind has two parts. We will see about it: conscious and subconscious mind. So these memories are stored in our subconscious mind as impressions. So when you go to those impressions and wipe those impressions, the person gets cured of phobia. And this is very scientific right now. So many people doing it. So much of proof is there of our scriptures in the modern world, but we ourselves are made to believe that this is primitive knowledge. So I hope that you all would spare a few hours of your life to understand it, and yourself will feel benefited, and you can apply that in your life, and you yourself experience the benefit of all this. Okay? Thank you so much.
So,
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. One last question, maybe that we can discuss in next week. But my question I'll ask then late. So before, like, there's like species, right? You mentioned. So humans were not there. So that's there is an error also there, correct?
No, no, I don't agree with that. So this is another session.
Okay.
We will talk about it.
Yeah.
I will talk about evolution, the great mystery of this process of evolution. The scriptures don't agree with it, and I will scientifically prove it to you that this is wrong. What
Yeah.
we believe, what we were made to believe.
So then in that means like humans are there from the existence starting.
That's
Okay.
and I'm not going to quote only scriptures. I'm going to give you scientific evidence of that. So please stay connected. We have answers to all these questions coming up. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for wonderful session and telling us about how we are different from animals, and we have to stop this tendency of living animal life. Now start thinking about how we can actually live our human life. So please thank you, Prabhuji, with a great round of applause. Okay. Meanwhile, few of the feedback form will be shared with you. So please take a time to fill those things. Don't leave your seats. Now the special moment has come. All the kids has been learning some great values, and they are coming in front of you. So please encourage them with great clappings and and appreciate their effort. So please spare some time and see their performance. Come here, please.
We have more population of kids. So please come here and present for next 5 minutes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, who is going to present? All of them. Yes, please, that side. Should you face that side? Video here. Okay, what did you learn? You can share with all.
Actually, today they learned one shloka, so they will recite here. Today they learned one shloka. They will recite here. Please appreciate them. They tried their best, and they will tell you the meaning also.
Yes. Okay. Yes, you can start. Which? Yes.
First shloka, Bhagavad Gita's first shloka.
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे संवेतायुत्सवा मामका पाण्डवाश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत संजय.
Very nice. Very good.
Dushaya said to Samveda that, "O Samveda, my sons and Pandu's sons, they assigned fight in Kurukshetra. What did they do?" This is the meaning of the first sloka. Thank you.
Go.
Please clap for them.
Okay, so one shloka today? Yes. This is the first shloka of Bhagavad Gita they all have learned. Very nice. So like that.
Next time they will revise this shloka, and as well as they will learn another shloka.
Very nice.
Haribo.
Let us thank Suman Mataji and also the team. They're taking care of the kids and teaching them some wonderful things. So let us thank them also. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. So all of you liked, kids, this shloka recitation? You like the Sanskrit shloka? Yes. Yes? Okay, so next time you will learn one more. And also you are going to hear some very wonderful stories also. Okay, and sometime you can do nice skit also here. Drama. That also you can do. Okay, thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So now we will just have 5 minutes kirtan. that is a form of prayer, uh, singing the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, about which also we are going to have one session. So we will have that for 5 minutes only, and then you can go for your lunch, Prashad. Thank you for joining together. Hare Krishna.
And-
My
and-
humble request, sorry, my humble request to all of you, if we can begin on time, then we can also end on time. So if we can all be here by 11, then we can actually wind up the whole thing in time. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhuji very rightly said. Humble request, please be here by 10:55 so that we can start on time. And another important thing, while the kirtan is going on, please clap. ऐसा बोला जाता है कि जब आप क्लैप करते हुए कीर्तन करते हैं तो आपके भाग्य की रेखाएं बदल जाती हैं. So, in order to have a good fortune and change our life in a positive way, while kirtan, please sing and clap.
You all can stand up now, and we'll have for 5 to 10 minutes. You can try to repeat and sing, as Prabhuji rightly said. You can also participate in this kirtan.